Is Labour's housing spokesperson Phil Twyford and Alistair Helm, founder of properazzi.co.nz. Welcome to you both this morning, gentlemen. Mr Twyford, if I could start with you. Your leader has said that the government should lean on the Reserve Bank. What does that mean?
What we've said, Rachel, is that Labor will stand up for first home buyers. We will negotiate an exemption from these lending limits. You know, 80% of first home buyers say they cannot get a 20% deposit together. They are locked out of the housing market. We will stand up for them. We will negotiate an exemption while we build 100,000 affordable starter homes and while we tax speculators.
Negotiate an exemption, to me, sounds like intervention with the Reserve Bank.
You know, Rachel, National will intervene for Warner Brothers, it'll intervene for Rio Tinto, it'll intervene for Chorus, but it will not intervene for first home buyers. We're on the side of first home buyers.
Should the Reserve Bank, and I'd like a yes or no here, should the Reserve Bank be independent, though, of politics? Should it act as it chooses?
Yes, but Rachel, you have to understand that within the Reserve Bank Act there is ample room for agreement on policy targets. All Labor's saying is that we want to protect first home buyers. We support the idea of macro-prudential tools like loan-to-value ratios. We just don't think that first home buyers should be the collateral damage for this government's failure to deal with the fundamentals of the housing crisis. You can't blame the Reserve Bank here. They've been pushed into a corner by National's utter incompetence in managing the housing crisis.
So let's just assume you're housing minister right now. What would you do right now, today? How would you intervene?
We would build 10,000 affordable starter homes every year.
That's not going to happen quickly, though, is it? And where do you get the builders from? They're in Queensland, they're in Christchurch.
Rachel, I'm telling you, we've done it before in this country and we'll do it again. We will build 10,000 affordable starter homes every year for 10 years. We will tax speculators. That will take some of the speculative heat out of the market.
So capital gains tax?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And we believe that it's really only the government that has the scale and the resources to tackle the complexity of the Auckland housing crisis.
OK. Alistair Helm, if I can bring you in here. Just simply, you're at the front line of this. Why, particularly in Auckland, are houses so expensive?
It's the supply and demand. I mean, it is the metrics of the property market. If you've got a limited supply, and it's not just about building new houses, it's actually the confidence people have to sell their houses and step up and develop houses. And that's been a restriction for a number of years. We have had a carryover from the global financial crisis. That really did damage the housing confidence sector. Our sales nationally dropped to 50,000 from 120,000. That takes time to come back. And so we're still just beginning to get up to the pace of 80,000 transactions. That has held back a lot of supply in the market. We don't have enough stock. We don't have enough new builds. And it's not just about affordable houses. It's literally we just don't build enough houses. And as you pointed out, where are we going to get the builders? Where are we going to get the investment to build new houses? Auckland needs more houses, not just affordable, right across the board. And it's supply that's constrained, I believe. OK,
you've got a magic wand. What would you do right now? What is the single biggest thing you could bring in that might see a correction here?
One thing I like, and I'd like the government to look at it, is the UK New Builds programme. There you've got a combination of it's targeting new construction. It's saying if you buy a new house, then the government will underwrite that balance of the deposit that allows you to buy at 10% or even 5%. And that double whammy, I think, is a good initiative that the government in this country should look at, because we've got to incentivise group home builders. We don't want more craft-built, individual, high-value homes. We want good homes that people can see on good developments, and not just with respect affordability. Middle-market houses in good areas around Auckland. We've got to open up more land, no doubt about that.
Do you think the government's been slow to react? Have you, been almost foreseeing that this was coming and we've just been limping along here?
Well, we've seen it in the supply side of the property statistics for effectively 2 years. The level of supply dropped and dropped and dropped from 2010 and is sitting at Auckland at the moment, 11 and a half weeks of supply of current sales property on the market. 11 and a half weeks. Theoretically, the market would disappear in 11 and a half weeks. It won't happen. It's beginning to turn. But we've sat with that low level for a year and a half now, and we see the results. Prices go up when supply is constrained.
Phil Twyford, it's becoming, it seems, the election issue, really, this issue with housing. People are fearful of a capital gains tax. How do you counter that?
Well, Rachel, it's about creating the conditions where New Zealanders get a fair crack at the Kiwi dream. And, you know, I bought a house when I was in my mid-20s. My son, who's now that age, he and his friends have no hope of getting their own place in the Auckland property market as it currently is. So we need to have a comprehensive and bold approach to creating the conditions so that the current generation of first home buyers can have that Kiwi dream. And it's really only by taking the speculators out of the market to some extent and dealing with the supply issue, building large volumes of high quality new affordable homes. Those are the things that need to happen. Now the government is building, they've said Nick Smith wants to build 39,000 homes. He's relying on a broken market to build those homes. And I don't think he's got any chance of succeeding. That's why Labor will roll up its sleeves and actually build the houses that people need.
Could you achieve the same as potentially what a capital gains tax would achieve? Should you remove the right to make interest essentially tax deductible on an investment property?
I think there's been too much benefit for investors for too long, to be honest. I think whilst it's a vacuum which has been created because there isn't patient capital in New Zealand which is prepared to invest in housing stock. Mums and pups have jumped in, seen an opportunity, they've been scared off the share market. It's perceived to be a safe investment, and it does have the benefits of investment interest recovery and also no capital gains tax. And I think it's skewed us as a country to focus on 1 and 2 property rentals as part of an investment strategy for your superannuation. Yes. That's a shame. It would be better if we had patient capital in superannuation, we had companies that could manage properties on behalf of tenants, look after them, provide good quality housing. Most other countries have that. In the UK, one of the leading insurance firms has actually stepped in and started building houses, owning those houses and renting them out because it sees a benefit in doing that kind of thing. We need more integrated thinking in this country.
Just quickly, from what you know of the market, given that interest rates are forecast to rise by 2% by the end of 2015, given the position that we've had with a lot of cheap money sloshing around, what do you see on the horizon? People are talking about mortgagee sales are coming in numbers. What do you foresee?
I don't foresee. I think, you know, we get scared, and Nick Smith made that comment about Ireland and America. It's not real. It was a very unique set of circumstances, and it led to the global financial crisis because it was those terrible loans should never have been made. This issue is about getting the property market sorted out. Interest rates will rise. People need to be cautious about what they buy and how much they borrow. But the reality is, I think we've started to see some of the turning of the market, even in Auckland. Let's remember, this housing crisis is not New Zealand-wide. It's Auckland. And I think we've seen it in the sales, which are beginning to slow up a bit, and prices are not hitting the peaks. Yes, they're still 1 and 2 months, but seasonally adjusted, we're not seeing as much growth in price. We're beginning to see a tailing off in the growth of prices.
All right, Alistair Helm and Phil Twyford, appreciate both your time this morning.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.